And let's see, who's next? Clayton Thomas-Muller is going to come up, and he's from the Indigenous Defenders of the Land and Idle No More. Idle No More.
Hey, what up, everybody? What's going on? Everybody doing good? I can't hear you. Yeah! Come on now. First and foremost, I just want to recognize this traditional unceded Algonquin territory, the community of Kitigan-Zibi, of whose land which we are gathered on today, and just to say as a guest in this land that I walk lightly and with respect. In a good way, I also want to take the time to acknowledge the organizers of our event here today to celebrate our rich history, our struggle, the beauty of our people on today's Aboriginal Day, but you know, on our day. I'm always laughing, especially on days like today and Mother Earth, or they call it that Mother Earth Day, because every day is Mother Earth Day. Every day is Aboriginal Day, right? Yeah. So, no, I want to introduce myself traditionally. Bonjour, Tanse, Zonge Benesi Nede, Tishnakas Karuto Pem. I'm a Cree man from Pugatawagan First Nation, part of Treaty 6. We're the furthest eastern Treaty 6 First Nation, and located in northern Manitoba on the 56th parallel on the Churchill River, right on the border of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. And like all of you, we've been struggling for a heck of a long time. As of late, I've been asked by some good people, by the founders of Idle No More, and by the people that have been leading the network known as Defenders of the Land, a network of the most radical, frontline, land-based Indigenous struggles in this country that they call Canada, to assist in the launch, in the implementation, in the promotion, in the raising of awareness about this thing called Sovereignty Summer. Who here's heard of Sovereignty Summer yet? Yeah. So today, being the summer solstice, the official beginning of this sacred time of bounty, of a time when we're hungry, we can go pick berries, we can go fish, put the net out. That's what my community means in our language. Pugatawagan is to put that net out into the water and get that fish. And today is a very special day, you know, because today is the beginning of Sovereignty Summer. Idle No More and Defenders of the Land put out a call on March 19th after all of the insanity and mass mobilizations of the winter against the Harper government for their ongoing attempts to oppress our people, to try and devolve their federal responsibility to provincial and municipal governments, to not address scandalous controversies like our murdered and missing women and girls. Shame, Harper! Like their ongoing attempts to make money off the suppression of our rights, because things like the tar sands in Alberta, and things like fracking in New Brunswick, and things like drilling in the Arctic for oil, or clear-cutting forests in Barrier Lake Algonquin territory just north of us, those kinds of economic development would not be possible if this government adhered to the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Those kinds of economic development would not be possible if this government adhered to the 170 Supreme Court victories that we won in these colonial courts, asserting our rights, our priority rights over these lands. Those kinds of economic profit schemes would not be possible if this government adhered to its own laws outlined in Section 23 of the Canadian Constitution, which define our priority rights, which are priority rights that supersede any provincial government in this country, any territorial government in this country. And so Sovereignty Summer is about asking each and every one of you and your families to get up and put your bodies on the line, because we're facing life and death situations, brothers and sisters. We're living in life and death times, and too many of our people are dying. In my own family, I have a handful of aunties, half a dozen, my grandmother, all murdered. And I know each and every one of you has these women in your families that have yet to come home after going away for a night or a day. We need justice, because there's a powerful metaphor between the economic paradigm of Canada and the way that Canada makes its money by destroying being violent and raping our most sacred mother, Mother Earth. And the ongoing failures of this country and the police apparatus of this country to seek out justice for those families of those murdered and missing women and girls is a powerful metaphor there. And that metaphor is the core of our movement. And the rationale as to why our movement must be spiritually based. Why do we fight so hard to protect the water? Why do we fight so hard to protect our forests, the lungs of our mother? Why do we fight so hard? Because we know better. That's why. We know what Creator's laws are. We know that Creator's laws supersede any laws that are made in this Parliament, that are made down the street in the Superior Court of Canada. We know better. And it's up to us to put our bodies on the line over this summer, in 2013, to stop business as usual. Because as long as we allow this country to continue to make profit off of the raping of our Mother Earth, to continue to suppress our rights as Indigenous peoples, to continue to spend tens of millions of dollars on slick PR campaigns to make society think that we don't know what we want, then we're going to continue to live in a life and death situation. We're going to continue to be oppressed. We're going to continue to fight amongst each other. I really appreciate what Dion had to say. Lateral violence that is taking place in our communities. You know, the accusations of you're not radical enough, or you're too radical, or you're an apple, or you're this, you're that, have got to stop. I echo his sentiments. Because as long as we continue to internalize the ways of our oppressor, as long as we allow systems of oppression like racism, like patriarchy, white patriarchy, as long as we allow genderism to continue to flourish in our communities and keep us divided and to build walls between us and other important social movements, we will not see things like we're seeing in Turkey, in Rio, Brazil, in Sao Paulo, Brazil, where hundreds of thousands of people have brought those countries to a screeching halt. And the governments are repealing their austerity agenda. Okay? And we've got to do that here in Canada. It's a life and death situation. I want to bring attention back to these brave walkers that have come so far, that have carried those sacred staffs. We need to continue to organize with a spiritual base, because that is what's going to protect our hearts from becoming hardened. We need to continue to take things back to the lodge. I want to acknowledge all of the sun dancers right now that are giving up the only thing that truly belongs to them, their bodies, to the Creator, their food and water, to the Creator. I want to acknowledge all of our sun dancers that are making that sacrifice right now, and everybody else that is going out in the land to fast. And I ask each and every one of you spiritual people to put that tobacco down for Idle No More Sovereignty Summer. We have 6 core demands of the federal government, from everything from repealing the harmful provisions of the omnibus bill legislation that they've rammed down the throats of Canadians and Indigenous peoples alike, to a national royal commission on the missing and murdered First Nations women issues, and everything in between. We know very clearly what we're asking for. We're not a sparse, loosely organized movement. There are volumes and volumes, tens of millions spent on the Royal Commission of Aboriginal Peoples that's been shelved for the better part of 2 decades, that clearly outlines what needs to happen to address the critical socioeconomic crisis in our communities. We know what we want. I want to sing a song to honor these walkers. It's a Thunderbird song. In our Cree way, the Thunderbird, it represents that healing. And there's a storm coming, and those Thunderbirds are going to bring it. And it's going to be crazy. But as long as you organize, as long as you stay close to your bundles, as long as you pray, you're going to be okay. But there's a big storm coming and some wicked big Thunderbirds coming. Okay? So I'm going to sing this song, and then we'll hear from our next speaker. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, yo. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, yo. Summer, check it out online. Yeah.